Rah! What up, Kim folks? It's Mike D. What is good? And guess who's over here?
What's up? What's up?
Wow! Who is this? I ain't seen this motherfucker in a minute. But yeah. Welcome to Blah Blah, where we connect, build, and break bread with our Kim folks. And we have a Kim folk over here.
Yeah, what's up?
I know, it's been a minute, bro.
It's been so long.
Hey, you moved to San Francisco?
Yeah, I moved to San Francisco.
Since when? Since when?
I've been there since August. So I moved during the pandemic. So moved with my best friend. And
Okay. How was the transition?
It was pretty good. I mean, I come down to San Jose to see my parents pretty often. So I'm still,
your parents are here and you're over there. So okay.
You know, just growing up, gotta move out, spread my wings, kind of thing. So
what's up? It is Daniel.
Yep.
Community organizer.
Yep. That's who I am.
Pokemon connoisseur.
Yep, I love Pokemon. I have so many. Yes, I love Pokemon.
Yeah?
Ride or die with Pokemon.
That's what's up. That's a beautiful thing. I know my son just getting into it, and he's like,
oh, really?
You know how you open the pack?
Oh,
you have to
he's into the card games.
And you have to do the 3 things. Is that what you do?
Yeah. My nephew's really into it, and so whenever I've seen him in Vegas or when he's came down here and stuff, I always just like, hey, can I have this Pokemon card? The art's cool, and he's like, yeah, of course, and he's like 7 years old. So
Like this Christmas, like, oh man, we got hella boxes of packs of Pokemon, so he can, and we all like gathered around and we all opening up, and you know what I mean?
Cute.
It's like, where are we gonna get, and then we would check how much it is.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, welcome to the shop.
Yes. Yeah, this is a dope place.
Thank you for sure. It's good to have you. But let's start off. Yeah. And my first question is, what is your migration story?
Yeah. So my migration story, it all started with, of course, my parents.
Okay.
So
you were born here?
Yeah, I was born and raised in San Jose. I was actually born in a regional hospital down the street over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Local San Jose?
Yeah. Born, bred, and educated here.
You're a shark.
Yeah. San Jose Sharks, repping. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, earthquakes too. So, my parents came here from the Philippines. So my mom is from Manaldan in Pangasinan.
Okay.
And then
do you speak a little bit?
No, I only know Okinoy, which is that's the only Pangasinan.
What does that say? What is it?
It's like a cuss word, I think. I don't know.
Okinoy. Okay.
That's the only thing I know from my mom. But and then my dad is from Baguio City, so that's where they met. They met at a hotel that they were working at together.
Okay, a little love story.
Yeah, a little love story. So I'm starting from them because obviously that's where it started and stuff. So, my parents they migrated here. My dad was brought here first, so it was like a year or so.
How was he brought here?
My uncle was in the Navy.
Military?
Yeah, military. So my uncle was in the Navy, and he brought my lola, Mama Verang.
Okay.
And then my Mama Verang brought my dad over. So most of my family on my dad's side actually live in the east side of San Jose. So we're all in like the area of like White Road where Seafood City used to be and stuff like that. So we're all in that area.
Is that considered the east side?
Yeah, I mean,
Northeast side.
Northeast side.
Okay.
A little bit. My dad was brought here and he was working to get his citizenship and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so as he was waiting for that, my mom was in the Philippines with my 2 older sisters. And so the interesting story behind that was that he was able to get his citizenship by talking to a congresswoman. Yeah. So he basically got his because he was waiting for like years or like a year or so for his immigration to like be confirmed and stuff like that. So he wrote a letter to the local congresswoman, and he was able to get his citizenship that way.
You just write a letter to the congressman. That's it.
Yeah, because it was taking a really long time, and my dad was really worried about my mom in the Philippines because during that time was when that big earthquake happened. Oof. So the hotel that they worked at actually got destroyed during that.
Where they met?
Yeah, where they met. It got destroyed in the earthquake in Baguio. So that's how we came to be. And so me and my little sister were born and raised in San Jose.
Okay, so you're second generation.
Yeah, second generation.
Okay.
So that's
second generation. So being a second generation, being born here, how did you get into community? How did you get into community work? Like, what was that process?
Yeah, I mean, I was very involved in my Filipino church as a kid.
Okay.
They're all Filipino, Family Church of Praise.
What area? What area? What church in San Jose?
It was based in Milpitas for a minute.
Oh, okay.
And I think they're based in Fremont now. So
Okay.
yeah, and my parents are very deeply involved in it still. So that's where I got my first taste of like Filipino community, you know.
Okay.
And, yeah, you know, with like Christianity and everything. But
sure.
when I went to high school, I got involved with the Filipino Youth Coalition.
FYC.
Yeah, FYC repping. So I'm a student at FYC, and I grew up there. And
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I went to Piedmont Hills High School. So if you know where that is,
Yeah.
I would take the bus all the way down to Eastridge Mall
Just to go to FYC.
just to go to FYC, and then I would walk to Welsh Park every single Wednesday.
Oh man. Yeah.
So that was like every single week I was going down there.
Every Tuesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday and Wednesday, because then there was also the core meetings.
So what was that experience like, being part of FYC? Yeah. What did you learn from that space?
Yeah, so I mean, the Kuyas, the Manongs, were very influential in terms of like educating us in terms of our Filipino American history. So, you know, everything about the Delano Manongs, for example, was very routinely taught to us. And just the sense of community and talking amongst each other, getting to know people from like all over San Jose in different high schools, really. So yeah, that was a lot of fun for me as a kid, and just you know, learning about my own history and my own identity. That's where it really all started.
Okay.
Because I was involved in my Filipino club in high school, and then that's how it got connected to FYC. Yeah, and all my siblings, so my two older sisters, we all went to the same elementary school, middle school, and high school. So I was trying to follow in their footsteps of like, oh, they joined Filipino club, so I'll join too.
Oh, you were the youngest one?
I'm the second youngest.
The second youngest.
Yeah, so my little sister had to step up.
Okay.
A lot more than I.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who was like the one that was leading it at the time when you were part of FYC?
Kuy B, Mano Mark.
Oh, Manong Mark. Yeah, he's
like,
still around.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was just on your podcast.
Yeah. So yeah, we definitely, as a community, got to figure out how to prop up FYC and the work they do. And I know it's a struggle out here with the pandemic. So yeah, I mean, I'm willing to figure out, you know, how we can make sure that these organizations are there to do the work that is needed.
Yeah.
You know,
because it was started in the 90s, you know,
Okay.
to fight against, not fight against, but really alleviate the issue of like Filipino gangs.
Yeah,
in the
gang
area.
violence.
Yeah.
And so then from FYC, what was the next organization?
Next, so I went to San Jose State. So like I said, I was born, raised, and educated in San Jose.
Okay.
And I joined Akbayan.
Akbayan.
Yeah.
Okay. Akbayan SJSU.
Yes, reppin'. Reppin' all these orgs.
Reppin', let's
I've
go.
always been like involved in different community organizations and stuff.
Okay.
So Akbayan was my next avenue, and that's where like I learned about like PCN, like Filipino Cultural Night, and like friendship games and stuff like that.
Okay.
In a more social kind of setting and stuff. So I was really involved my freshman year, and then I started working to really pay off like my student debt and stuff like that during college.
Yeah.
And then that's during my sophomore year, I got more involved in more other grassroots organizing. So that's where I found out about like Anakbayan, Silicon Valley. That's where I got involved. And got involved also with Lead Filipino.
Okay.
So those, after like during my college time, that's when I really started diving into my identity and my culture even more than I was already doing in Filipino Youth Coalition. And I still am. I'm still learning and still growing.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much history, not only like here in the United States about us, but also in the Philippines. You know, like with mythology and all that. There's just so much still knowledge growing and stuff. So
I mean, I'm still learning.
yeah, there's so much.
It's never ending for sure.
Yeah,
but it's beautiful, like to learn the perspective and the different struggles that are happening. It's like it really like in a sense of like kind of affirms you and why you do the work in the community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so now, actually, you're talking about like, you know, FYC in Delano Manok. Do you remember the 50th anniversary?
Yeah, is that where we met somewhere else?
Well, I was part of Anakbayan once, so.
yeah.
But we all, like the whole community, it was 50th anniversary of the Delano Manoks in Delano. And we all were down there, all the organizations. So I remember you were also there. I think we were in the same bus.
Yeah, were we? Did we sleep in the same place? Like Marissa Roy's place?
Oh, yeah. We stayed with Marissa.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
I've forgotten about that.
Yeah.
Marissa Roy is the producer and the
Yeah.
director.
Well, yeah, she made the whole film for Delano Mano.
Yeah, so check that out, Delano Manongs. It's a documentary. It was put out on national TV,
Yeah,
on PBS.
Yeah, yeah.
And when we were in the Delano Manongs, we were looking for a place to stay. And shout out to Marissa Roy, thank you. We were able to stay at her house.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, yeah. Oh, wow, I've forgotten about that you were there.
50th anniversary. That's where I like really felt like the sense of community at the same time.
Being around with everyone,
Yeah.
mostly like
Yeah.
all the organizations like across California. We came together. It's like hella people,
Yeah.
over 500 people.
That's crazy.
There was like workshops, there was like conferences, there was panels, there was like cultural night. People performed. That was dope.
Yeah,
That
like
was dope.
Bamboo performed, right?
Oh yeah. Oh my
At the
god.
Filipino Community Center. I remember that.
It's all coming back to me now. So
Yeah,
then
that was how many years ago? That was like
oh my god, that's like
16, 17?
Oh my god,
That was years ago.
Maybe 4 years ago.
No, it's not 4 years ago. Yeah, wait.
It was like 2000.
Yeah, maybe 4 or 6 years ago. I'm
Six-
trying to like. I was in college.
5 years ago, 2016, I think.
Yeah.
Damn, yeah, we got history, bro.
That was dope.
So now you're a part of LEAD. What is LEAD?
Lead Filipino is a nonprofit organization, community organization.
Okay.
We started in 2015. We're made up of students, families, and adults to really,
Are you the adult?
I'm an adult now. I used to be a student. I used to be a student in the program. I did like the Awareness in Action program.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a 8-week ethnic studies program that Lead Filipino hosted in San Jose.
Yeah.
So actually how I got involved with Lead was Angelica Cortez, who's the founder of Lead Filipino.
Shout out to Angelica.
Yeah, shout out.
Jel, what's up?
I was like a freelance graphic designer at the time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
of course. We'll talk about that more too.
Yeah, so she needed a logo. And
Yeah.
so that's where I got connected with her.
That was the beginning of it.
Yeah, we met at UC Davis's. They have like this Filipino conference for high school students. And they bring high school students over and they educate them in different workshops.
Yeah. It's like a PYC leadership.
Yeah, like a PYC or a rap like Akbayan has.
It's like a youth leadership conference.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was doing a workshop for Anakbayan.
Okay.
I remember. And we were talking about Save Our Schools. And stuff like that.
Okay.
And so I remember Jay Page, who was also involved during that time. Shout out to her too.
Jay, what's up, Hawaii?
She introduced me to Angelica. Angelica was like, "Hey, like I need a logo," and then I made her a logo, and that's how we got connected.
So you made the logo for LEAD.
Yeah.
And so many other logos that you made.
I make a lot of logos. I made Fawn's logo too.
Yeah?
Silicon Valley.
Okay.
Or Silicon.
Tell me more. I want to know what else have you made. He's a graphic designer, so if folks are looking for some graphic designer, what are your rates?
No, I don't do a lot of freelance anymore. I
Okay.
mostly do like volunteer graphic design or.
Okay, I'll
Mostly
take.
my
That's
work.
better. It's free.
It is better because it's free, but I don't.
I'll play it.
Yeah, I've been making like a lot of the flyers for the
Yes.
Angeloquinto, just for Angeloquinto, just for all Coalition too.
Well, first and foremost, that's fucking beautiful that you're able to actually contribute your skills and talent and time doing the work in itself, and then your skills to actually for the work.
Yeah.
And so that's fucking beautiful. You know what I mean? And I appreciate you, man. I think one of my favorite design that you did was that dragon.
The Bakunawa
dragon.
Yeah, for Akbayan. That was cool.
I was like, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I was like, this motherfucker is dope.
I haven't made shirts in a while. That's how I got started in graphic design.
Yeah. When in terms of high school, right? Screen printing.
Yeah. It was called Insane Ink in high school. That was like
Piedmont
the class.
Hills?
Yeah, in Piedmont Hills.
Yeah. So he created this design of the Bakunawa. Bakunawa is the Philippine dragon. Well, let me tell the story then. So there's a story of the Bakunawa, and at the beginning of time, there were 7 moons, right?
Yeah. Beginning of time.
Yeah. And then the dragon Bakunawa would come out of the sea and eat the moon one at a time. And so the idea of eclipse or a lunar eclipse or a moon eclipse, or when the moon gets covered in darkness, people would get scared that the Bakunawa are eating the moon. So people would make noise with pots and pans
Yep.
to scare them away. So that is the legend of Bakunawa. If folks didn't know that Filipinos have their own dragon, a mythological dragon, check it out. Research it. Bakunawa. Let's go.
Yeah.
So he made this design. It was beautiful. It was just this serpent-like dragon with all the arms holding the different moons.
Yep.
I was like, this motherfucker is dope.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite shirts that I made.
Yeah. I wanted to keep one. I didn't get one.
You didn't keep one?
No.
I don't even know if I still have one. I should really keep all my shirts then.
Yeah, like a collection.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to LEAD. LEAD Filipino. And what is LEAD stands for?
So LEAD stands for Leadership, Education, Activism, and Dialogue.
Wow, that's all of you.
I mean, that's why I'm part of it,
Okay.
right? And like I said, I made the logo, right? And so if you look at the
And you made the logo. Good lordy. Let's go. Okay.
If you look at the logo, it's intentional that I didn't put a period at the end of the D because dialogue should be open, like right now.
It's continuous.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Graphic designers, artists are just cool like that. They have these like hidden things that... Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but we look to, advance and increase the amount of, I would say, civic engagement, public policy, and just public service among the Filipino American community.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of kind of the aspects of what we do, and encapsulates kind of our pillars. So like I said, leadership, education, activism, and dialogue. Last Saturday, we just had our Fly Pinays Summit, which has been running since basically the inception of Lead Filipino.
Yeah, talk about Fly Pinay. Fly Pinay. What is
Fly
Pinay?
Pinays? It's basically a conference all for Pinays to really connect, network, and get to know each other. Also learn about themselves and their identity. It's a really great conference. I think over 100 people were on the virtual conference.
That's virtual.
Yeah, that was
Imagine
virtual.
if it was in person.
Oh yeah. We hold it down in person and stuff. I think this was the first time I wasn't actually at Fly Pinays because I usually volunteer every year in person. And stuff like that. But it's a really great event, and I think it's very empowering for our Pinays especially. So I'm a Pinoy, so I can't really speak on their experience. But that's not the only conference that we're planning to have. We're actually planning to have our Lakbay conference happening in around June. So we're actually having this Queer Pilipinx conference coming up, and we're choosing it to call it Lakbay to basically reword the way that we say bakla.
Bakla.
Right? So if you look in Babayan, bakla is ba, which is like the female symbol, feminine, and ka is the connection, right? Like two of the rivers in the bridge, right? And then la is like lalake, so it's a masculine symbol. And so if you flip that, it turns into lakbay, which means journey, which is really beautiful to see. So those are some of the, I guess, leadership and education pieces that we have in LEAD. And I mentioned before we had like awareness and action, which was the 8-week ethnic studies program. What I'm directly involved in, moreover, is a lot of. So I'm the director for scholarships right now, and so this was an idea that I brought on to LEAD to honor my lolas. Okay. So last year, one of my lolas passed away, and I had to go through a lot of grieving through that. And I think what I've found comfort and safety in during that process is always community. I think community has always been there for me, especially as a queer Pilipinx. I think I relied heavily on my community just in case my family didn't accept me.
Yes.
Stuff like that, right? And so, I set up some money, and I'm going to start fundraising for it as well to start a scholarship in their name. So it's going to be called the Mama Verang and Lola Remy Scholarship Fund. My Lola that passed away recently is Lola Remy, and she's on my mom's side. Okay. She passed away in the Philippines, and it's been really tough because, connection in terms of like we're not able to go there because of COVID, and just like when she passed away was during that typhoon. Right. So like the Zoom was really wonky and stuff. But I helped set up this scholarship fund. It's going to be called the Lola Scholarship Fund for short, to really give back to Filipino American students during this time. Emerging college students as well as current college students. So that's one program area that I'm working on right now. Okay. I'm also working on just all the API hate stuff that's kind of going on. Yes. And it goes in direct relation to also the coalition that Lead Filipino is part of. Over 160 orgs nationwide have signed on to the Justice for Angeloquinto, Justice for
Yes.
All Coalition. And so those are all, interrelated in terms of, the kind of safety that we need to have in order to protect our Asian American community, right?
Yeah.
And so I've been working on, I'm hosting some listening sessions, facilitating them this weekend,
Okay.
to really get community input so that we can, really think about in a community perspective, like what are the needs in terms of safety?
Yes.
Is it the police that we want to call?
No.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it, right? So yeah, those are some of the initiatives that we're working on. Yeah, and then also we're also leading with Fonz this park naming that's happening on the east side.
Yes.
Yeah. So I submitted a name for Delano Mango's Park, which kind of brings us full circle, talking about
Back to the Nomenos.
yeah, talking about the 50th anniversary,
Yes.
talking about Marissa Roy. I submitted the name because I was a resident in San Jose. I mean, I'm a longtime resident in San Jose.
Okay.
And the park is really close to my house, right? It's right across from the Target on Capitol, nearby the Seafood City that just closed down.
By Mickey.
Yeah, by McKee. So there's a lot of development happening. And so with every city development, they're required to build a park.
Yeah.
Housing development requires to build a park.
Okay.
Or else they pay
For recreation for the
Yeah,
community.
and so I submitted a name, and now we're building. We were able to get a unanimous vote from the commission to vote for the name. So now it moves forward to the council to vote.
So are there other names that are being pushed other than Delano Manong Park?
Yeah, there were other names that were submitted, but there wasn't a campaign behind those.
And we have a campaign around it. That's what's up.
So yeah, I'm trying to form a committee around the Delano Manong's Park, just so that part of the vote of the name, the unanimous vote for the name from the commission, was also to basically add an amendment to have some sort of monument or recognition or honoring of the Delano Manongs at the park. So that's either, you think about what's like a monument or a mural or like plaques on the benches. Like what's the best way to honor our Manongs that have fought for basic worker rights and human rights, right? And that's all interconnected still with what's going on with API hate, because our Delano Manongs, they fought against their own hate during their time.
Yes.
They fought against, they were old in their age, which we see predominantly a lot of API hate happening to our elderly, right?
Yes.
And so I think this is a form of resistance for us to show that, Asian Americans are not submissive. We've always been resistant. We've always been resilient. We've always been organized, right?
Yes.
So that's what this park name really means. And so we're forming a committee around it too, to get community input and also imagine what that kind of monument is going to be like.
For sure.
So yeah, there's a lot going on.
Full circle. But first and foremost, I want to say condolences to you and the fam.
Thanks.
And I think I just want to highlight in terms of what you said, like, yes, it's important to have community. And yes, it's great that we have our immediate family, but sometimes the immediate family is not necessarily sometimes not safe.
Yeah.
So it's always good to be in community.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can find different ways for people to be there for you and support you in whatever needs that you have. So I think you're highlighting that in the sense that you have community.
Yeah.
And we can always lean into our community. So for folks that might not be plugged in with the community, reach out. We have different organizations like LEAD, FYC, we have Fonz, we have Anak Bayan, we have Gabriela, we have Mala. There's so many. And depending on what your interest is, definitely I'll list all the things all the organizations locally in San Jose.
Yep.
I want to list all the projects, all the campaigns that you guys are doing, whether it's LEAD, whether it's Fonz. Yeah, we want to provide resources and choices for our community. Yeah. And so, but thank you for your work, man.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a lot of work.
I'm naming it all. I'm like, oh shoot.
What else did I forget?
I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what am I doing?
And then you guys had the Fierce Coalition thing.
Oh yeah,
that was fucking dope.
You spoke at that. That was rad. You moderated that discussion. It was super dope.
Well, that was last minute, Joe. Angelica was
you did really well though.
Angelica was like, "Hey, you want to moderate it?" I'm like, "Okay, sure." So I jumped in. It was definitely dope. There was 3 panels, and the first panel talked about mental health.
Yes.
The panel that I was in, that I was moderating, was divesting, and the third one was mobilization to action. And so, but it was a dope panel. Every panel was great. But of course, the second panel is well, it wasn't me. It was just the panel.
Yeah, the panelists were dope. Like I was just like, okay, I was like writing notes. I was like, what are they saying? Like this is everything to me.
Oh yeah. The panel was fucking great. They were on fire, and I was just like feeling their energy, and so feeding off it. And so
you're good at that. You're good at feeding the energy. I mean, that's why you got asked.
Hey, so make sure to check out Lead Filipino. They're doing from civic engagement to local building parks. You know what I mean? There's building scholarships for the youth. You know what I mean? So if whatever you're interested in, there's a way. If you just want to be engaged in community, feel free to reach out to Lead Filipino. Yeah, and we have here a great example of a great leader in our community that's continuing to push for better community, for change.
That's my life mission. It's just, give back to something that's giving me so much,
For sure.
Like I said, I grew up in FYC. I went to San Jose State. I went to Akbayan. And then I got organized through Akbayan and Lead Filipino. Akbayan was the first, I went with Akbayan to Seattle. And that was the first time I've ever, gone to a protest for Black Lives Matter.
Oh, that was your
that
first time?
That was my first time ever going
God.
So that's where I got really politicized and really, activated. I remember that morning, we were in tears because we heard about an organizer in the Philippines getting killed, right? And I think that was a moment where I really look back to and really think about in terms of just fighting for our rights and fighting for racial equity, especially, right? Because it's not only the Filipino American struggle; it's the struggle of black people, of indigenous people, of all people of color.
If we're gonna speak on racism, it's a must. We acknowledge. Locally in San Jose is Mowekna Ohlone tribe. And again, anytime I speak on racism, it's a must that I acknowledge what the black community struggled for and work for that we are actually benefiting from. So it's a must that we acknowledge the legacy of people that have been doing work. And it's a must that we continue that legacy to push that further in a way. And so, it's definitely necessary. And Anakbayan was one of those things that I got involved in, definitely radicalized me in a sense. And radicalized just means that I was able to see the invisible hand. The systemic issue beyond the American system, but on a global sense. And so if people are curious, there's services and there's a need on a local community. But if we're gonna look into in terms of combating and in terms of liberation, we have to really come together and look at the global aspect in terms of dismantling imperialism. You know what I mean?
Imperialism and capitalism.
Oh yeah. So how are you feeling about all this violence against Asians? So I know you touched on it in terms of what y'all doing, but how you're feeling on a personal level?
I mean, I'm personally scared. I remember making a tweet that I saw myself in angeloquinto. I experienced mental health issues, and so I would hate for my mom to, or my little sister to call the police on me when I'm experiencing an anxiety attack, and in my mother's arms. I really thought of myself in that place. I see my mom and my sisters in the attack on the Filipino American woman at the San Jose Diderot station just down here. It was a hate crime. And I think about also the Asian women that were murdered in Atlanta. And I think about them. And then I think about my dad too, in terms of, I think his name is Danilo Wu Chang. He shares the same name as my dad. And he was attacked in Oakland. And his face was all bruised up and all over the news and stuff like that. So just seeing a lot of Asian Americans being targeted and victimized. I mean, this is something that has been in history since the inception of the United States, right? From the Chinese Exclusion Act to, even here in San Jose, the burning down of Chinatown, right? So there's a lot of systemic and institutional racism that's also happening as we see this overt racism happening as well. So I take it very personal level because I don't have a car. I got dropped off by my dad. I don't have a car by choice right now.
Okay. You're saving money.
Saving money, and I just
because he's putting all the time in doing the work.
And I love taking public transportation.
Okay.
So whenever I come down here from San Francisco, I take the BART. Now that's connected all the way to Barista, right? But I'm even scared to take the BART.
That's real.
Yeah. I mean, I had to. I got dropped off by a friend down here because I was so scared to take the BART on Wednesday.
Oh, you should have told me. I would have picked you up. I would have picked you up.
I have friends in San Francisco too. So they
but yeah, anytime you feel unsafe, call me if you're around the area. Let me know. You know what I mean? Sweet. That's what we do, right?
Yeah.
That's how we build community. Like we have to really genuinely care and love for each other's well-being.
Yeah.
And so like, I mean, I always say this, like if folks, I don't have to know you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
you know
just we can get to know each other, you know what I mean? But just reach out. If folks just want to blah and talk, you know, sometimes we need that. You know, just reach out to any of community members. I think people are just open.
Yeah.
But in regards to like, you know, I think I'm gonna keep repeating this. I've been saying this, and you know, like violence against Asian is not limited in American society. It's a global thing.
True.
You know, I was sharing in the last podcast that around China there are 400 military bases. And so imagine the militarization that's happening across all those Asian countries and the impact of that militarization. And it's usually the women, the fetishization of women, they are the one that are impacted. And so, and so because of this recent attacks in Atlanta, you know, the idea of fetishizing Asian women, that's rooted in militarization. And so it's a must that we look at dismantling imperialism. Yes, we have needs, and we can figure out how to address those needs, the dire needs of our community, but we have to really look at dismantling the system that play in continuing that exploitation and putting us in this condition. There's statistics.
Yes.
You were talking about mental health, right? And we all go through that, right?
Yes.
And I think statistically, Filipino youth has the highest rate of depression, and again, I'm going to keep repeating this. Filipino women have the highest suicidal ideation. So it's not just a single, you know, thing that's happening. It's not just you. It's all of us. It is rooted in a sense of being a migrant, being in a new place, in a new culture, in a new language, and the idea of wanting to feel that you belong, but you can never be fully accepted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's harsh. Yeah. It's harsh.
We're getting deep.
It's harsh.
Oh my goodness.
But again, like the idea of the disconnecting from homeland and disconnecting or feeling disconnected, it is rooted. It is designed for you to be disconnected. So to actually fight that is to actually do the opposite, is to connect. And I think you've done that. You've learned. You are continuing to, you know, learn about the different issues, you know, globally. And I think trying to own that struggle as our struggle. And so it's a lot of work, man.
Yeah. I mean, even like just all these things happening, it moves me to, you know, act upon that.
Yes.
So I think, that's the biggest thing. Even though I'm afraid, and I you know, think about when I go walk to the grocery store. Like, who's gonna call for help when I'm being like attacked or something? You know? Or like, what is a bystander gonna do? I think about that very intentionally, but at the same time, I also have trust in my community and going to them for, you know, in my time of need and stuff like that, and finding solace and comfort with you know, the action that we do together.
Well, don't go alone.
Don't go.
Always have a buddy.
Yep.
We have a buddy system. You know what I mean? Don't let your grandma and grandpa out by themselves.
Yep.
Make sure they are accompanied, especially around these times, like, you know, the rise of violence against Asians. It's a must. We are.
They just set up patrols in Japantown, like community-based patrols.
Yes. But buddy system, man. So if you need some, like, let me know. Like, you know, get some food too.
Food in San Francisco is good.
What's your favorite dish, Filipino dish?
Oof. I
Okay. Here
I
we
love
go.
tattoos, and one of my next tattoos I want to get is Filipino food bowls.
Okay.
So I want to get dinuguan,
Oh.
sinigang,
Sinigang. Okay.
and kare-kare.
That's your 3?
That's my 3.
Oh my god.
So I have a bowl of ramen here, but then I'm gonna get some Filipino bowl.
I'm definitely a kare kare fan.
Yeah?
I am. That's my thing. Like
Nice.
yeah. Kare kare. I
Do you
gotta
eat
have it.
dinuguan though?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I eat anything and everything. If it's on the table, I'll eat that shit. You know what I mean? So I grew up very poor and not having any choice. So I'll eat anything. You know.
That's hella real. Now I feel that.
That's dope. So how about desserts? What Filipino desserts? What do you like? What's your favorite?
Oh man.
There's so many.
There is so many.
Okay,
I
make
don't
it two. Top two.
Top 2. I don't know why I thought about sweet corn, but it's not even a dessert. It's like shit.
Wait, sweet corn?
You know, it's sweet though.
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, I love ice cream in general. So
Okay.
I mean, like, you know, like mango ice cream. Or
Oh.
ice cream is dope. Taho.
Taho.
Yeah, taho.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love taho.
Really?
Yeah, my mom made some. She made some this week actually. It was
Oh
really
yeah.
good.
And you didn't call nobody?
Huh?
You didn't call nobody?
No, I didn't call nobody. I didn't shout outside. I mean, that would be so dope if we had that.
Yo,
though.
we got some taho. Come over, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mango ice cream. I'm on that. Like
Yeah.
that's my thing. Like I just finished actually a bucket.
No way.
Yeah, mango. Anything mango, that's definitely my thing.
Yeah.
But my favorite is cassava.
Cassava cake. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'll ask my dad to make you some. And
He makes cassava cake.
Dude, he makes the dopest cassava cake.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I grew up when I was young. We had we lived in the mountains and my family was growing cassava.
Oh, okay.
And so we cooked everything cassava.
Yeah. Nice,
So
nice,
yeah,
nice.
cassava cake is just my thing. I'm just so familiar with it's unconscious thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's unfamiliar, like, but it's very familiar to your senses, especially the taste. Oh yeah, and speaking of senses, like, sometimes I went back home, 2017, and I haven't been back for 30 years.
Wow.
So my
Were you
first,
born there?
yeah.
Okay.
So 30, I left 87, but 2017 I went over there
Yeah.
in Luma, Mindanao,
Okay.
to build schools. That was so motherfucking amazing. Like I think I've shared before. Like I have never felt the feeling of belonging. That was I'd be all in tears and shit just thinking about it. Like, because you know, being in America, you know the idea of that you will never be fully accepted.
Yeah.
And we try to like have this economic mobility to you
Sure,
know.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, we make group of friends, we make small circles, but wholly, you know, we will never fully be accepted. And so the idea of just that moment and feeling that I belong,
Yeah.
which we all are longing for,
Yeah.
that was so fucking amazing. In terms of the senses, the smell
Yeah.
brought me back to everything. The sight, you know what I mean? The mountains,
Yeah.
you know, the greenery, the rain, the sun.
Yeah.
You know, the touch, the mud, like like the what do you call it? What you hear, like, you know, the birds, the dogs, and the chickens, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all my senses was just overwhelmed with all this, like, fuck, this is where I belong. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's dope,
It was the most amazing feeling I've ever felt. So yeah. But let's get to it. I was gonna ask you. That was bad transition.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you in terms of your connoisseur of Pokemon thing. What's your favorite Pokemon?
My favorite Pokemon?
Yeah.
Okay. My
Like-
favorite Pokemon is Muck.
Muck?
Do you know what Muck is?
I have no idea.
So I have my top 3 are Muck,
Okay.
Venomoth, and Hypno.
Okay, but describe, because
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay. Muck is like a blob of poison.
Okay.
With a mouth and eyes.
Okay, and why Muck? Why do you like him?
When in the next or like in the newer generations,
Okay.
in Alola,
Okay.
which is like based on Hawaii, Muck turns into like this rainbow kind of color, so it turns gay. So that's
Okay.
why I like that. I mean, like
That's me.
yeah, that's me. So and I just love tanky Pokemon that can
Okay.
last. And my favorite type of Pokemon is poison.
Poison?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Because with poison you can also heal. You know. Kind of
Really?
Well, in a sense, you can't really heal.
Oh, you
Healing
can
moves-
poison the bad things.
Yeah,
To heal. So okay,
yeah.
that
So,
sense.
I
That sense.
guess so. But and then Hypno is like a I don't know how to describe it. It's like it's like hypnotizing
Okay.
Pokemon. It's yellow. It
Hypnoti-
has like a mane and it's like a taper. Do you know what a taper is?
I'm trying to picture this.
It's an actual animal and it has
Okay,
like
okay.
a long nose.
Okay.
But
And so he hypnotizes you.
yeah, it's like psychic type Pokemon. And then
Okay.
my other Pokemon is Venomoth because I love
Another
moth.
poison.
Yeah, another poison bug. And I love moths. I love because they're like spirits and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
like in Filipino superstition,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
moths
yeah.
and butterflies are
Yeah.
our ancestors.
Oh,
like that.
the deep thing. Look at you. Look at you.
I mean, like, you know.
Oh, there's a moth in my closet. That's Lola. Don't touch it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't put the mothballs.
That's
in
where
there.
it's come from. That's dope. Do you collect them? Do you have cards? Do you have a collection? And how long you been collecting? If that's the case.
No, I don't collect the cards.
You don't collect the
No,
cards.
but I play all the video games.
Okay, okay.
And I have Pokemon tattoos. So
You do?
Yeah.
Which one? Like how
I
many?
have
How many? Is there one or there's a lot?
I have 3 Pokemon tattoos.
Okay.
My first one was a Zapdos.
The Zapdos. Okay.
Which is a
I'm
legend-
assuming he zaps.
Yes, it's electric type.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
I
legendary
have no idea anything about Pokemon. Okay. what else?
And then I have Blastoise on my chest.
Blastoise.
You know,
okay.
Blastoise with the tanks and the turtle.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
And then I have a Tyrantrum right here.
Okay.
It's a T-Rex Pokemon.
A T-Rex.
Yeah, because I love dinosaurs too, and they mold both of them, so it's a Pokemon dinosaur.
I mean, his IG name is what?
Dino Man Daniel. It was Dino Boy Daniel first, but then when I turned 18, I turned
He's
it
a
to
man now.
yeah,
Let's go.
exactly.
That's what's up. Dino Man Daniel.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Do you have AKAs? Do you have nicknames?
Oh, nicknames?
Do people like in your family? Do you have nicknames?
Oh, not in my family. They just call me Daniel because my dad's name is Danilo. So his nicknames are Dan and Danny. So I
Okay.
hate being called that. But my friends call me Dan
Okay.
because it's like a junior, but like because my dad's Dan. So
And you're
I'm
Dan.
So I'm number 2. Yeah.
You're Dan. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah.
Oh my god. How did you get into Pokemon? Like, did you like watch a TV show? What was how old were you? Like,
don't
what was
know.
that process?
Pokemon came out in 1996 on February 27th.
Okay.
So
Pokemon
Pokemon
knows
is-
the history.
Yeah. Pokemon is a Pisces, just like me.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But my older sister Madonna, she had a yellow Game Boy.
Okay.
My first Pokemon game was Pokemon Yellow.
Okay.
And so I just stole the game from her and started playing it myself. But I was super young because Pokemon came out in 1996.
Right.
Right?
How old were you?
I was born in 1996.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's my earliest memory of Pokemon is playing like the Game
sister's
Boy.
game. Okay,
yeah, and then
okay.
from there I was like addicted to just, like, Pokemon in general. Because like even as a little kid, I'd play with like bugs and stuff like that. Like I would get a lot of bug bites because I would be in my backyard playing with like ants and like roly-polies and stuff like that. And so that kind of translated into Pokemon too, you know, because you're playing with like creatures and
Right.
catching them and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that. So I
yeah.
was like, ooh, this is like a video game version of what I do in my
So I
backyard.
don't have to be outside.
yeah, exactly. No, I love being outside. Though. That's how it translated to.
But ants are fucking amazing, though.
Ants.
Yeah,
Ants are amazing.
ants are amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
they're strong. They're organized. I mean,
yeah, they're organized.
yeah, they are.
That's real. That's real. That's what we gotta do. We
Yeah.
gotta organize.
I mean, it's a monarchy system.
Yeah.
but still.
No, I like definitely. I mean, to this day, when I see like an ant hill, I would just, I'm just like amazed in terms of.
You never played with bugs as a kid?
I somewhat played with it. What I would do is catch other bugs and put it on the ant, and I would
See, like if they would battle and stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of evil, but I mean, it's like
I would watch the ants would just like consume
You're
whatever
just a
they
kid.
shoot.
yeah, natural order, whatever.
But yeah, like Definitely. I've been watching a lot of what do you call it? Nature stuff. And yeah, watching like Bugs Life and just
That's a good example. Yeah, that one's a really great example of like organizing because it's like the collective against like the oppression.
Yes.
Which were the crickets or the crickets grasshoppers.
Yeah, those are grasshoppers. That was the Bugs Life, yeah?
Yeah, I know.
Was it the one they made like the bird and they tied it in the thing?
Yeah.
And they made it?
That was the because there was a scene in that movie with the grasshoppers where the grasshopper leader, what was his name? I don't even remember. Hops or something?
I don't know.
Yeah. He was literally saying like, they can't know they're stronger than us because there's more of them than us. We have to make sure that we stay in power. I'm just paraphrasing.
Yeah.
Because the grasshoppers would take their food, and take their resources.
Their resources.
They were being exploited.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's all Bugs Life. Isn't that crazy?
That's real life.
Yeah.
Man. So transitioning to the next question, I wanted to ask, what has been your biggest struggle and also biggest victory in life? Wow. I know, it's kind of deep. We went from Bugs Life to
greatest achievement. I think for struggle, I mean, I'm queer, right? I identify as queer, and that's always been hard because, like I said in the beginning, I was raised by a Christian family, so I've always been scared about like sin and being who I am.
Okay.
And so, I think that was my greatest struggle is like being in the closet for my family for maybe 20 plus years. I barely came out to like my parents and my sisters maybe 5 years ago.
5 years ago?
Yeah, like during my college years, definitely.
Okay.
And my sisters were all like, oh, we knew this whole time. And then my dad was really cool about it. And my mom is still coming to terms with it, of course. But
okay.
I think that's always been my greatest struggle is, navigating being queer, but also, being with my family and stuff like that. Because I didn't come out to my whole family until like 5 years ago. I wanted to come out to my immediate family first, and then like the rest of my family, which is my family is very accepting in general. Like I had my Lola's brother was gay too. And he was like the first doctor in my family. So he has a whole barangay named after him, Dr. Navarro.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's I have queer people in my family as well. So I mean, there was acceptance there, but I think like we were mentioning, like the kind of the American ideal about like individualism and stuff like that. Like I was just really afraid for myself and thinking about myself in that sphere. So that's why I always relied on community. They were my second family. They were my chosen family at the time when I was still in the closet. So that's always been a struggle for me. I mean, even like the workplace, like what does it mean to be out and stuff like that? How do you like navigate with like teaching people pronouns and how to use that correctly too? So I think that's something that like is always a struggle for me in identifying that in myself. But
it's a continued struggle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're always coming out to someone constantly.
Yes.
Like I'm walking down the street, you're not gonna know that I like dudes, Yeah.
Unless you want to know.
Yeah, unless you want to know, right?
Hey, do you want to know?
Yeah. Because I do recognize that sometimes I am masculine presenting too. But I mean, like my nails are painted too.
Okay.
Like more femme and stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's also another thing that's happening. What's it called? Besides like API hate, right? Like people are also attacked for their
it's another layer.
Their queer identity as well. Like on the street, just like if you're holding hands and stuff like that with another guy.
Society not understanding.
So that's something I'm always very cautious about as well.
Okay.
But my greatest achievement, I mean, by far is graduating college, I would say. And I graduated college with I majored in advertising.
Okay,
so my avenue or my career path was supposed to be like in agencies and like working with like businesses about advertising and audiences and stuff like that. But I double minored in event planning and Asian American studies. So I think those graduating in that kind of like degree made me really proud of myself, because that's something that I did for myself.
Were your sisters also able to graduate?
Yeah, my sisters graduated from college as well.
Okay.
And then my mom studied accounting in college in the Philippines.
Was
So-
there a sense of pressure from family in terms of you graduating, or?
No, I mean, like, that's also a part of like my family that I'm very privileged to have, is that my parents were accepting in terms of like the kind of vision I had for a career.
Okay,
and stuff like that.
okay.
Because advertising is more of a creative path. It's like in the arts kind of as well.
Yeah,
So
that's hard to
that's hard to convince.
hard
But-
to pursue that in the context of family just want you to succeed.
Yeah.
And sometimes they see success as just a path of the general, like the nurses, the doctor. And
But my parents were never like that.
Yeah, sometimes the arts is kind of like, you know, it's like it's not encouraged.
Yeah.
It's not encouraged in terms of, because that's why it's called, like, what do you call it? Artists being hungry or something.
Yeah. It's so sad.
But yeah, that's dope.
But yeah,
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, that was a long time ago when I graduated.
Well,
now, but
congratulations. But I do have a story. I have 3 kids, and my daughter.
yeah.
She was 9 years old,
Uh-huh.
and she was over at the house one time, and then she was like, "Dad, where's your bucket of chalk?" We had a bucket of chalk. So I'm like, "Oh, let me get it." So I went to the garage and then gave it to her. And she was in the driveway just kind of like drawing things, so I left her alone. And then I dropped her off to the mama. And then later on, I didn't look at what she drew.
Yeah.
And what she drew was, "Love is love."
Oh.
Yeah. I'm like, with the rainbows.
Oh.
I'm like,
That's so cute.
okay. And then the next day, we went to the mall and we were shopping. We just finished eating Jollibee.
Oh, yum.
And so we're like, okay, we're heading to just kind of run around and just kind of window shop or whatever have you. And she's holding my hand. She's 9 years old at this time, and she was like, "Dad, I'm a lesbian."
At 9 years old?
Yeah.
That's great.
I was like, "Oh my God, thank you for sharing. I'm
Yeah.
so proud of you." That
Yeah.
I think it was just a moment of pride, because for me, it was the fact that she felt comfortable sharing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that's the hard part, right? The idea of like, it's hard to share because you don't know how people will react.
Yeah.
But the fact that she was able to share and felt comfortable to share whatever she's feeling, that was like my proudest moment. That
Make me cry. That's so cute.
I know. I was like, "Oh my God!" And so I was like, that was like one of my proudest moments with my kids, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like sharing with people, and it's funny. Like I shared it with like a coworker, and she had a different reaction to it.
No way.
It was crazy. I was like, "Oh wow!" I guess you never know what people. will
you
think.
never know what people are thinking.
Exactly. So her reaction was like, "What? How can she know? How can she know?" I'm like, "No, that's not the idea.
No,
Whether she knows it or not, she'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But at the moment, that's how she's feeling. You have to respect it and allow a space for them to share their feelings. But you have to allow them to figure that out. If they are, they are. If they're not, they're not. But it's a process of feeling safe."
Yeah.
And she had this reaction of, people are talking about it too much. So now other people are thinking that they are. I'm like, "Oh my God, you're not my friend no more."
No. I was, ever since I was conscious, I knew I liked boys. You know what I mean?
At what age?
Like ever since I like,
Ever
I just,
since?
yeah, I mean, like,
Your consciousness came out.
yeah,
like-
my mom was like, "Oh yeah, I like boys." I mean,
Yeah.
I would like watch Hercules and like fan over him. I mean, like as a little kid.
Right.
Yeah, I can think about like my crushes like I had in first grade and stuff like that. And so that's so awesome that your daughter, at such a young age was so comfortable to just share that trust and vulnerability with you. And I think that's ideal for a kid to like, when they're talking to their parent, is to like feel that acceptance already out front, or like not even having to worry about it and stuff like that.
Just feeling safe.
Yeah. I mean, like you saw it first in their art, so it's like she's made it obvious
Right,
for
right.
you.
I think she was hinting. She was hinting.
Yeah. She's like, I don't want to talk about it, but maybe my dad will like talk about it.
Yeah. But that was like one of the proudest moments of being a father. And then again, I tried to create that space for the kids, and it's trying to break the cycle in regards to like a feudal relationship with the kids. And I actually do this. We try to have a meeting with the kids and sit down with them and to check in with them, like, oh, how was your week? There's like, how you feeling at the moment? These are the issues that's happening. What do y'all think about this? And at the same time, when we are making decisions about the family in terms of like just general things, we allow them to like partake. It's for me, it's like a sense of empowering them. They can contribute into the collective. That's a way for me to empower them and feel safe, and they can say anything, and we can actually have a conversation around any disagreement or any misunderstanding. And so that's my practice with the kids. Like, allow them to be in a space, allow them to participate in the decision making, and give them the power that they can contribute. So it's definitely not easy. And I think learning from our own experience and being young and being not valued. We have that like, oh, you don't know shit, right?
I know exactly. I'm like, I still feel like that. Some way I'm like, I don't know shit at all.
Exactly. And so versus like, actually, I learned so much from my kids. As parents, like we see them as an empty cup, but no,
they're already full.
They're
full as fuck.
And so I try to create that space there where we can learn from each other, in a sense that, yes, I have my own experience and I want to share. But also at that moment in time, whatever age they are, they have their own thought. They have their own experience. It's so much that we value that. You know what I mean? And so, it's just something that I like to practice. So do you have any questions for me?
Questions for you. I mean,
I'm asking you questions all day, so I'm just curious if you have any questions for me.
I'm thinking about, we're talking about organizing, we're talking about family, Like, I just want to know where you're at. How are you and your family right now? I mean, we just talked about, how you talk to them about like communication and stuff like that. But like, how's everything going on? Just curious.
Well, thank you for asking that. I appreciate that. It's very personal, and I appreciate that. Yes, I mean, again, being a father, we're separated, me and my baby mama, Loida. But we have a great relationship. We work together. But it's definitely hard in terms of the pandemic. I have to be very careful, because when I visit, like, I still have to make sure that, I'm not exposed to other things. And so at the same time, the kids are like, because of the pandemic, they're kind of in their rooms doing their thing. They're on their digital platforms and whatever have you. So, so when I visit, I make sure that we spend time together. We watch a movie. We just watched Raya.
Oh yeah, how'd you like that? It was like,
did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
It was okay.
It was okay for what it was, right?
Well, let's break it down a little bit. Raya was good, but in terms of the storytelling, it was a sense not too deep. No. There wasn't a sense of like a deep story. It was more of like, oh, something happened. There's bad. Now we got to fix it. Let's go fix it. And then the level of I'm so critical. No. Yeah, I think I'm as critical. So and the level.
This is spoilers, by the way. Spoilers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If anybody has not watched it yet,
never mind. But definitely, it was good, and definitely could have been better. For sure. I'll talk to you off camera. I don't want to spoil it for our folks.
I mean, there was characters I really loved. But I think generally just this whole storytelling aspect of it, I think it could have been.
It could have been deeper, better, and it could have been like have a deeper sense of character development.
Yes.
And I think it was very kind of. But it was good.
It is a kids movie at the same time.
No, I've seen kids movie that way. Nemo is my.
Oh yes,
Nemo is my favorite all-time movie.
Oh yeah,
because when that came out, my son, my first son came. Like he was 2 years old. That was my first time like being a father.
And Nemo's about being
Right. And so it was like a father and son relationship.
Yeah.
And I love that fucking movie.
Yeah,
you know?
You see all the like Filipino things that are sprinkled.
Yeah,
in, like,
yeah. I'm like that. Yep.
P. Sherman.
Yeah. Fisherman. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, to answer your question, yeah, the kids are cool, and I'm trying to do the best within the context of pandemic.
Yeah.
We just recently like went to the park and we just hanged out. We were just skating, roller skating, and so yeah. And so the kids are great. They're growing. Jaren's 19, turning 19 April 1st. He's turning 19 already.
Happy birthday!
Yeah.
He's an Aries.
Yeah, so they're 18, 14, and 10. They're all 4 years apart. So Jaren will turn 19, and then it'll be 15.
That's crazy.
They'll be 11.
Yeah.
And so,
is he thinking about going to school?
He's going to school. He's going to the ANSA.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice,
yeah.
nice.
So, and he's into shit posting. Are you familiar with that on Twitter?
Shin posting?
It's called shit posting.
Oh, shit posting.
Yeah.
Wait, so what is
he just posts like comedy, satiric comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he's been having fun with it.
For sure.
He's creative writer. Period. He can
Yeah?
write. I mean, when he was making music,
Nice.
yeah. Remember, he had bars, right?
Yeah.
So now that transferred into like his Twitter posting about
of
like
course.
because like
Yeah.
comedy is like finding punchlines,
Yeah.
and so he can write bars in that way, like make it funny. And so yeah.
What is he studying in Dianza?
I'm not sure specifically, but he's just going through the answer to the requirements right now.
Which
But
is awesome.
yeah. So yeah. So any last words for our viewers, listeners, wherever you at?
Wherever you at.
Yeah. Any words of wisdom to share with the folks?
Yeah, I think especially during this time during the pandemic, you have a lot of time to think and be with yourself and solitude and stuff like that. And as much as that's important, I think we all have to have the capacity to care. I think that's the biggest thing that I want to leave the viewers and listeners or whatever, right? I've been very deep in this like self-love journey.
Okay.
But it's also mixed in with community care.
That's what's up.
You have to have a balance between those two. And I think, once you learn how to love yourself and learn how to, take care of yourself, and find acceptance in that, then like there's so much power you can give back to the community with. And I think I'm in that space right now. I mean, I listed a bunch of shit I'm doing and stuff, but I think I'm able to do all that stuff because I look into myself and I think about very deeply about my own identity and where I'm at and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, thank you for having me here. I mean, this has been really rad. Like we haven't really had this like deep conversation stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we've always been in organizing spaces, which is
so we never had a time to actually sit down and just blah blah like this and get to know, because yes, we are in all the spaces, but it's work. And so sometimes we forget that, we're going through our things, you know what I mean? And so it's good to just be able to check in. Yeah. And I think, as much as it's healing for you, it's healing for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, this is hella healing.
So this is what I love about this podcast, that it's also about my own healing in regards to being able to connect with folks on that level of just seeing your experience as a whole. Yeah. That's why I start with the migration story. And then finding the things that you love. Yeah. And then the work that you do. Yeah. And let's just, go from there. Yeah, and so it's beyond just the show. It's really about also getting to know folks and building with folks. Yeah. And so last words, make sure you check that out. It is self-love. And community love. Let's go. And this is our podcast, Blah Blah. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like, comment, blah blah. You know how it goes. Rah!